This isn't going to be solved overnight. This is something that is deeply rooted in our society. It's deeply rooted in our history.
Many of things rooted in our history right now, especially Republicans and those who understand what spying in the real world means. They're furious at the release of a biased and some would say one-sided report on CIA torture that was released today. That leads off the run as we head for the Rocky Mountains, Denver, Colorado, in the airwaves of 630 KHOW. Let's welcome back Mandy Connell as we go around the dial. Mandy, good to see you again.
Good to see you, Ed.
Here we go, Mandy. Start right off with what happened today. The CIA torture report is released by the Democrats, by Senator Dianne Feinstein. They claim that it is filled with lies, that it shows that we tortured. They claim that it must be released in order for the American people to know the transparency of what happened and also what they are calling the illegalities of what happened. Why do I get the feeling, knowing a little bit about your history, that you are one angry human being right now?
I have to say, for everything that I have been thinking over the past few days, and just as a little background, it's not just me that's angry. I happen to have a son who is serving in the U.S. Army. He's deployed to the Middle East. So he is going to have to bear the repercussions of the release of this report should bad things happen. But that being said, I want to backtrack a little bit because, in all honesty, I don't think any American wants to think that their country is doing truly awful things to other human beings on their behalf unnecessarily. And when you think about it in terms of people talking about the moral high road, this is my favorite argument these days. We're going to grab back the moral high road. And I'm thinking to myself, we're going to grab back the moral high road, but who cares? Who cares that we have the moral high road? Sure, we may feel good about ourselves. We can pat ourselves on the back and tell ourselves that we're really special. But I believe that this report will eventually be used to recruit people that want to kill us.
Well, wait a minute. Hang on a sec, Mandy, because I'm going to stop you there. There are people who would say, wait a minute, we're Americans. We're supposed to be better than the people around the world. We're not supposed to do these kind of things. And that's what separates us from the terrorists. Now, how would you answer those critics?
The CIA torture report does not mean that as a general rule, we are not an awesome country. We're not a moral, upstanding people. When you look back at our history, Ed, you know as well as I do, we have spent more of our own blood and treasure to defend people around the world, not empire build. We don't run around. We've left Iraq and Afghanistan, the last place that we were allegedly going to empire build. We do more good than harm, but the reality is that war is ugly. We are fighting people who think nothing of lopping off the head of people that they disagree with. We are fighting people that want nothing but the complete destruction of the United States of America. And you know what? Perhaps there will be a time in the sun for this report to come out where we can all look back and say, maybe we didn't make the best decisions. But I find it interesting that a president who thought it was okay to kill an American citizen in Yemen with a drone strike is standing on a moral high horse, looking down at the CIA and second guessing the activities that that took place after 9/11 happened, after we were fighting a war on terrorism, after, quite frankly, we didn't know when the next attack was coming. And guess what? There are good people in this country who love this country and love the people in it who are going to be doing bad things on our behalf.
Would this be then, in your opinion, as some people have indicated, but I wanted to throw this to you, that Dianne Feinstein and the Democrats are putting this out at this time, they're having it ready, they suffered a big defeat in the midterms right now, so this is nothing more than political hot air, it's ego, it's hubris, and it's time to make people believe once again that the Republicans are on the side of the people and these are the kind of things that we do to make you happy?
Well, no, I think it's further than that. I mean, it's deeper than that. It's definitely a political move. The Democrats are trying to wrench back the mantle of we do everything that's right. Well, the American people just voted in the midterm elections. They don't think the Democrats do everything right. Is it any coincidence that this report is released on the same day that Jonathan Gruber is giving his mea culpas on Capitol Hill? They don't want you to pay attention to Jonathan Gruber, who has been insulting the American people in his zeal to show how smart he is. It's the same day. You're telling me there wasn't a different day they could have released that, Ed? I think this is just Democrats trying to show the American people that they have the moral high ground. They're the ones. It was the evil Bush administration. Donald Rumsfeld and Dick Cheney and George W. Bush were everything but a child of God. And this is the strategy. And in the meantime, my son's in the Middle East. Thousands of other sons and daughters are around the world right now facing increased security measures because of blowback from a report that did not have to be released today.
Do you believe then that the release of this report today by Dianne Feinstein and her committee puts your son and others like him in greater mortal danger than he was yesterday?
Absolutely it does. Maybe not right this second. I just read right before we came on the air an analysis by an organization that follows chatter on jihadi sites, and they're saying, well, there's no reaction yet. Well, you know what? Give it some time. Give them a reason. Do we really think that jihadis need another excuse to attack the United States of America? This is going to become a recruiting tool. This is going to become a justification to further mistreat the people that they do take captive. I mean, let's be real, Ed. Do you really think that the folks who are torturing children, by the way, ISIS is now torturing children that they capture in Syria, really give a crap about Americans feeling good about our moral standing in the world? It's preposterous on so many levels that I don't even see how people can look themselves in the mirror. Well, I can't. They don't have family members that are in the Middle East right now. They don't have children that are serving in the U.S. Army. It's easy to cast stones and say, you know what? We've got to do this. We've got to make things right again when nobody you love is possibly going to suffer the repercussions. And it's disgusting to me.
All right, I got about a minute left here. You mentioned Jonathan Gruber. I'll throw that in here. He finally gets his chance to tell his side of the story. So I guess some people are then going to look at all this. They're going to ask today, who is more stupid, the people who fell for Obamacare the first time or the people who believe that he's actually issuing a real apology this time around?
I just want to point out that the Republicans didn't fall for it the first time, okay? I want to throw that out there. Secondarily, if you want to understand someone's character and someone's viewpoints, see how they behave when they think no one is watching. All of the videos that have come out of Jonathan Gruber standing in front of his people trying to make himself look brilliant, that's what Jonathan Gruber thinks. The fact that he's on Capitol Hill right now trying to defend himself and trying to walk back his statements that America is stupid, if we buy it, we are stupid. We get what we deserve.
Are the listeners in Denver falling for it?
Oh, God, no. No. We may be stoned, but we're not stupid, okay, Ed?
Well, that's always good to know. I mean, that's always good to know. And I do want to point it out, as a matter of fact, that Mandy Connell comes to us, and she is not under the influence of anything other than just mile-high air in Denver, Colorado. How's that?
Exactly.
I got the disclaimer out, knowing full well what goes on in my old town. Mandy, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show from KHOW 630 in Denver, Colorado. If we don't speak before then, to you and your family and your son, first of all, we thank him for his service. We wish you a very Merry Christmas and a happy holiday.
You too, Ed. Thanks a lot.
All right, take care, Mandy. It is one of those dates we as Americans must ensure the world never forgets, December 7th. And from the eyes of one little girl who saw it all unfold and her drive to ensure the memories stay alive.